Auschwitz, the setting to millions of murders and horrors beyond belief during the Holocaust. Some may ask, what was it like for those who lived these horrors every day, and for the survivors who had to deal with the aftermath of these horrors? Every story is different, but today I will be telling the story of Louis Bannet, who played for his life in the Auschwitz Orchestra in order to survive. Louis Bannet was born in Rotterdam, Holland in the Netherlands on August 15, 1911. He was the youngest of 8 children born to Letcha and Leon Bannet. They lived in a small apartment in a poor Jewish neighborhood in the Lower East Side of Rotterdam. When Bannet was a child, he heard his neighbor playing the violin. He fell in love with the sound and would press his ear up to the door to listen to his neighbor play. The neighbor noticed this and gifted him a violin. Bannet learned to play by the age of 7. His mother longed to get Louis professional training, but worried that she might not be able to pay his tuition. So after Louis was accepted into the music conservatory, she asked her brother, Louis's uncle, for help paying for his schooling. After hearing the young boy play, the uncle could not help but pay his tuition. At the conservatory, he was the star pupil and even played his violin for the Queen. Bannet later picked up the trumpet and learned how to play it. This was because there were too many violin players in Holland, and he could make more money playing the horn. After this, there was a huge boom in Bannet's career. He was playing nightclubs, bars, and other venues all over the country. Bannet was even dubbed the Dutch Armstrong, referring to Louis Armstrong. The two even met once. However, this fame did not last long. The Nazis invaded the Netherlands and everything changed. Rotterdam was invaded on May 10, 1940. The bombings left many Jews without homes, including Bannet's family, who were forced to stay with Letcha's brother. Shortly after this, in July of 1940, anti-Jewish decrees were being passed. These decrees included no marriage between Jews and non-Jews, and the letter J being stamped on all identification cards. However, Bannet was most affected by the decree that no Jews were allowed in nightclubs and bars. This meant that his career was over. Shortly after this, Bannet left his home and went into hiding in a small countryside town. There he obtained fake papers and got a job as a bookkeeper, where he did fine for a while. Until one day he took a walk to get some fresh air. He ran into Gestapos who were looking for him. Both were Dutch men who knew Louis from his music career. They were starstruck by him, but still they threw him in jail where he stayed overnight. The next morning, he was packed with several other Jews into a cattle car. He recalled that they were packed in like sardines. They were sent to the Westerbork camp. He was only at this camp shortly before getting sent to Auschwitz. Upon his arrival there, he ran into a man pointing Jews left and right. He did not know this at the time, but that was Dr. Joseph Mengele, a deranged doctor who performed medical experiments on people. Bannet said the situation was terrifying. After this, their clothes were taken from them, and numbers were tattooed on their arms for identification. These numbers would become their new identities. On the first night, they were forced to sleep naked in the freezing cold, and many died. Soon after his arrival, Nazi officials figured out who Bannet was. They asked him to join the Auschwitz Orchestra. At first, he was perplexed as to why he would do this. And then someone told him, "You need to play. Play for your life." So Bannet did. They would make him stay up all night long and play for the Nazi official parties. He was forced to play for hours on end. He recalled, "I played until my lips hurt." Bannet was even kicked out of the orchestra once for cleaning spit out of his horn. Due to this, he was forced into labor at the camps. Day after day, he picked up airplane parts and moved them. But Bannet eventually got back into the orchestra and became the leader of the Roma Orchestra. The orchestra's primary task was to accompany prisoners marching to and from work. The musicians were required to play outside regardless of weather, even in rain and snow. But many prisoners and musicians in the camp took their own initiative and created music with different significance. They would sing and play songs that reminded them of their previous lives, and it offered consolation, support, and confidence. It helped them articulate their feelings and deal with all of their emotions. It provided diversion and entertainment, and in a way, relaxed them a bit. It also gave them hope. On January 27th, 1945, Auschwitz, which was located in occupied Poland, was liberated by the Red Army. After the war, Bannet moved to Canada. There he played in famous orchestras and in many concerts around the world. Even though this was the case for Bannet, many musicians who survived the Holocaust never played again due to the trauma that they received in the Auschwitz Orchestra or because of the music that was played during their times in the camps. Other musicians who survived the Holocaust, such as Bannet, continued to play after their time in the camps. They used their emotions and experiences from the camps to create beautiful pieces of music that still exist to this day. In conclusion, the story of Louis Bannet shows the experiences of just one Holocaust survivor. His life got flipped upside down, and he was forced into hiding. He was sent to Auschwitz, where he said music saved his life, and he emerged to become a famous musician and play all over the world. Louis Bannet died in 2001. However, he never got rid of the horn that he played in Auschwitz and donated it to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum just before his death. The horn continues to be at the museum to this day.